Good morning. My name is Sydney Carter, and on behalf of the pastor and our board of trustees, welcome to the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. We ask that you turn off your cell phone at this time. To begin our service, I will ask Reverend Gregory P. Kent to light 3 candles symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. There they go. Looks like they're new. Thank you. Please rise as you are able for the invocation. Mother, Father God, Infinite Spirit, thank you for this place to bring all of us together in harmony, to bring us guidance, and to bring us closer together. Amen. Please be seated. Located on the bulletin are our Declaration of Principles. Please join me with reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and the personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. In this bulletin is the healing prayer, and please recite that with me as well. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. We will now join in a guided meditation led by myself. Clear your lap, relax, and melt into your chair. Take a deep breath in, release all the tension from the week. Allow your eyelids to softly close. Breathe in the light of all that is, and exhale white, golden light about you. Feel your body relax further, deeper, into a state of oneness. Breathe in and breathe out. My body is relaxed and receptive. Drift to a place of peacefulness, a place just for you, a place where you can let everything go. Notice your breath slowing. A calmness washes over your body. In the distance, a colorful, vibrant rainbow appears. It is now nearby, so close that you can feel and touch it. You feel the energy it provides, and then when you see the place where the rainbow above meets Mother Earth. I breathe freely without constraints. I am influenced by only positive thoughts and feelings. As you inch closer to the rainbow, the energy intensifies. You feel the vibration of each color: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. You look in the awesomeness and wonderment of the scene as you pass your arms slowly through the array. I am the creator of all that I perceive, feel, and experience. As you sit in the rainbow of colors, they dissipate and return as a bright, vibrant red. It encompasses your body. You breathe in and release the positive qualities of red. All of my relationships are for love and healing. Soon you feel the vibration has changed. Orange appears. It nurtures your relationships with others and brings strength, endurance, and stamina. I am here for a purpose, and my life is meaningful. Again, the feeling changes as yellow is now about you. It is as bright as the sun and its stretching rays. It reminds us of our responsibilities as we act in wisdom, joy, and intuition. I am calm, secure, and relaxed. A shift in feeling signifies another color change, this time to green. It heals all and gives hope, inspiration, growth, and forgiveness. I have unconditional love for all that exists, all that I encounter from moment to moment. Green morphs to blue, the color of the sea and the sky. It brings a sense of calmness, peace. It is a color that brings understanding and relaxation. I live beyond the traps of cause and space. I am free. The lighter shade of blue deepens to indigo. It is a color that seeks truth. It allows you to see the bigger picture. I am the all-seeing eye of God. Violet now washes across your body. It heals your spiritual gateway, your connection to all that is. I am in restful awareness in the Spirit. I am Spirit. The rainbow dissipates and white light now surrounds your body. Peace, peace, peace. Feel the healing white light throughout your entire body, the warmth and the lightness that now fills your being. I am supremely blessed. Slowly take a breath in and release the healing white light into Colby Memorial Temple. Take another breath in and release it out to Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. Another breath in and out in all of Florida. Another breath in and release out the white light to the entire world. Feel the chair in which you sit. Become aware of your extremities, moving your hands and feet. Breathe in and exhale, and open your eyes when you're ready. All right, now that we're all back, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Lori Carter is a certified medium and teacher in Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. She is also a writer. She wrote for the Lake edition of the Orlando Sentinel for 17 years. She's also written and published a novella, The List, a compilation of short stories, It Happens, and is the co-author of Two Worlds. She writes a weekly blog, which can be found on her website, fromtheethers.com, and she can be found on her Facebook page, Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp, Mayberry it is. Please welcome my amazing mother, Lori Carter.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming out today. And the first thing I want to talk about is I saw a bunch of dragonflies this week. And I'm like, finally I looked it up. I'm like, what does dragonfly animal totem mean? And so dragonfly animal totem wants you to focus on what you are doing in your life and not so much about your surroundings and things that are going on that don't matter to you, so to speak. It's okay, to be selfish once in a while. And so first I just saw one dragonfly. Then, they were just all swirling all around me. And so I really took that as a sign. One thing I really like to tell, one story I love telling about, is I was chatting with a neighbor, and she shared that I could go to irs.gov to check the status of my stimulus check. So this was several months ago. Actually, I prepared this talk back in January, and the COVID, happened, and so here I am today. And so I was talking to my neighbor about, the stimulus check. I'm like, yeah, it'll get here. And she said, oh, you can go to irs.gov to check the status. And so as I was about to leave, one lone ant crawled on my tea mug. I said to her, that means patience to me. But instead, I got home anyway to check to see where my check was. And guess what? It was mailed the day before. I love that. And so I learned about animal totems from my master teacher, Reverend Mary Rose Gray, who is on the other side of life. Some of you might remember her. She was the voice of Cassadaga, and she sang beautifully at Sunday service for more than 20 years. She was an ordained minister, certified medium and healer, and teacher here in Cassadaga. And so, again, she's the one who taught me that animals speak to us daily. Everything in this universe is connected. We are one. Have you heard the story about the man, the fisherman, and the sea crabs? Incidentally, sea crabs are symbols of intuitive nature, shyness, defense, perseverance, self-sufficient behavior, and sensitive people. And so people with this totem are highly sensitive. And it makes sense to me because my daughter is a Cancer rising, and she is very sensitive. And at times when we have little tiffs, and I like to call them tiffs, I'd go to the beach and I'd, relax and get all that out of me. And what would be crawling up to my blanket? Sea crabs, those little crabs. Synchronicity. An experience of two or more events which occur in a meaningful manner but are causally unrelated. The events must be related to one another temporarily. And so I love this because now, as I was writing this inspirationally, I realized it was January 11th. A number used as a street address in Two Worlds, written by myself and Reverend Mary Rose Gray. In case you have not noticed, I've been known to be a bit random at times, and thanks for following. And so the story goes, a man was walking the beach and saw another man fishing. As he neared the fisherman, he saw the bait bucket with no lid. A bit closer now, he looked inside to find it filled with sea crabs crawling on top of one another. The man wondered about the lid and asked the fisherman, "Why isn't your bait bucket covered so the crabs won't escape?" The fisherman replied, "If there is a single crab in the bucket, yes, it could escape. However, since there are so many, if one tries to crawl out, the others grab onto it, making sure it can't escape. So it will meet the same fate as the rest." So is this true in real life? Who knows? But the idea behind it sometimes rings true when dealing with other people or even your own emotions. I mean, we are all going through a lot right now with this COVID, and so don't let people or your emotions, your mindset, pull you back into their chaos. Don't buy into it. Do you regardless of what others think. Keep crawling out. I know I said earlier that we are one. We are also individuals who make up the one. However, I do believe that every single thing that we do individually affects the whole. So try and strive to improve yourself. Raise your vibration. Be a dreamer, a go-getter. Don't stop until you reach your goals. When we make efforts to improve ourselves in situations, others who do not may try to drag us down to share their fate, just like the sea crabs. Instead of getting pulled back down by people and our emotions, rise anyway. Rise above it. Keep going, set goals, and continue to grow regardless. It can be difficult at times, but you can do it, and so can I. Do you. And this reminds me of another teaching I learned from Reverend Mary Rose Gray. Let's take a look at the ocean for this. The lower plane, which is the bottom of the ocean, is dense and dark, and those who are there are fine with it. They are there in the dark and comfortable being there. At the middle level, you can see the light and you're in the dark sometimes. The water is still murky. You have a ways to go. At the top level, you're always in the light. You can see the higher level of existence and try to strive forward to illumine truth. Some in the upper level are like flying fish. They fly out and see the light and feel the freedom of the open space. This teaching is not to separate people because, let's face it, we have all been in all three of those levels at one point in time. Sometimes just in a day. Give yourself a break. I love to bring natural laws into my talks because firstly, it's part of our Declaration of Principles. It's number 7. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. Nature's spiritual laws refer to natural laws. Just about everything in life has natural laws within them. There are hundreds of them. Just in this talk so far, the natural laws talked about include cause and effect, the principle I just read, law of manifestation, 111, everything that was created was first a thought, the crab story and the ocean story, law of vibration, among others. The natural laws have been around forever. Although Plato does not have an explicit theory of natural, his concept of nature, according to John Wilde, contains some of the elements found in many natural law theories. According to Plato, we live in an orderly universe. At the base of this orderly universe, or nature, are the forms. Most fundamentally, the form of the good, which Plato describes as the brightest region of the being. The form of the good is the cause of all things, and when it is seen, It leads a person to act wisely. Aristotle. This Greek philosopher emphasized the distinction between nature on the one hand and law, custom, or convention on the other. What the law commanded varied from place to place, but what was by nature should be the same everywhere. A law of nature would therefore have had the flavor more of a paradox than something that obviously existed. Socrates and his heirs, Plato and Aristotle, assumed as fact the existence of natural justice or natural right. Of these, Aristotle is often said to be the father of natural law. And as my daughter said in the introduction earlier, she said that I was a freelance writer, and I still dabble with that with Hometown News as well. And every time I think of a topic, I have to just cover every little gamut of it. And so, what does one represent? One is also called a unit. Unity in a multiplicative identity is a number, a numeral, and the name of a glyph representing that number. It represents a single entity. The word one can be used as a noun, an adjective, and a pronoun. It comes from the Old English word "an." One, sometimes referred to as unity, is an integer before 2 and 0. Again, any number multiplied by 1 is that number, as 1 is the identity for multiplication. As a result, 1 is its own factorial, its own square, its own cube, and so on. And so I'm guessing you didn't think you were going to get a lesson in grammar and mathematics today. Oh, I swear I did not pay those people who laughed. In philosophy, the one is the ultimate reality and source of all existence. Philo of Alexandria, a Jewish philosopher, 20 BC to 50 AD, regarded number 1 as God's number and the basis for all numbers. The law of one is the comprehension that all things are made of intelligent energy and are part of the all one. The law of one is a sacred science of the mechanics of Christ consciousness and are the natural laws governing our universal creation. The teachings of the law of one describe the spiritual laws that govern our spiritual evolution. It is a philosophical system which merges cosmology, science, human rights, and spiritualism. Simply put, the law of one is the universal truth that all is one. It is the truth taught by God when he proclaimed, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself." We are all direct expressions of the one source, God source. And so, to put this into practice in our daily lives, I found a few things that might be helpful to us. And I found them at aligninguithearth.com and worldunityshamanic-training-institute.com. They had the same information on both sites. First off, love yourself. Apply the practice of unity with all one as an extension toward loving, honoring, and respecting yourself. 2, love others. As you learn to love yourself, love others. Through practicing self-love and loving others, no approval, worth, or esteem issues come into question, as all is loved equally. Next, love earth and nature. Loving the earth and all her creations, the kingdoms of nature, plants, animals, and minerals, which are all alive, consciousness, and intelligent energy beings. As humans learn to live in harmony with earth and the nature kingdom, the natural creatures will align to be in harmony and cooperation with all inhabitants. Next is service to others. Upon firmly loving yourself and honoring your path, find methods to be in service of others that do not overstep personal boundaries of discernment. The more service you dedicate to God's plan, the law of one, the more spiritual support and spiritual presence one can exchange with the God force. Next is consciousness expansion. Learn to develop inner clarity and spiritual integrity by intending to develop personal consciousness and or spiritual identity. And finally, responsible co-creation. As one becomes more infused with the eternal love of spiritual identity, the intelligent blueprint activates the divine purpose of being as a co-creator with God. And so one of my favorite natural law books is River of Life, How to Live in the Flow by Marilyn Autry. And I usually bring that book with me to show everybody. It's actually for sale in our bookstore. But somewhere Spirit took it out of my presence, so I couldn't find it this morning. And so it's an awesome book. The Law of One concludes that everything is interrelated on some level of consciousness. Absolutely nothing can stand alone. Every soul is connected through the collective unconscious level. The Law of One manifests through each of us in varying degrees in our association with one another. If you consider social circumstances, the Law of One reveals that your identity is just as important as what your relationship is to another. The Law of One aligns with the Law of Unity. The Law of Unity is oneness, absolutely no separateness, and no division. There can be no division because the universe is in divine order. Those things that may appear separate or division to us, body, mind, and spirit, seem separate but make up a whole. Whether it is in persons, genres, polarities, or causes and effects, all bled into a oneness. Each little segment that one may recognize is an integrated part of the whole. And this is in our Bible, Genesis 1 through 3. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and voice, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Yeah. And interesting too, when I'm looking at that, the first day had a day and also has night. That's the law of duality, but I'm not going there today. So going back to the crab story and ocean story, we must always do our best to live in harmony with one another. It is for our highest best for all of humanity. Perhaps instead of being dragged back down by the crab's others' emotions, pull the lot of them up with you. That sounds like a better plan to me. And finally, I had a lovely quote, and Christopher Timms is somebody who's a friend of this camp, and he hasn't been here in a while. It'd be nice to see him again. But he gave me permission to read this, The Eternal Teachings. It was written by him. There is an essence that binds and sustains and is all life. This essence, this living presence, is the oneness that you are. This is the oneness that you are. Shapeless, formless, and eternal are you, with no boundary, with no container. You were never born, so you could never die. This is the oneness that you are. This is the oneness that you are. With nothing to grow into and nothing to become, for you are all life. You are all life. There is no separation between you and me, the air that we breathe, the sun that shines upon us, or the earth that we walk on. No separation at all. All life is one, always has been, always will be. And this oneness that is the air and the earth, this oneness that is the seasons for the harvest and the laughter of the children, this is the oneness that you are. This is the oneness that you are. This cannot be taught to you, for this is not to be understood. This is only to be experienced, appreciated, and realized. Accept this and be free. Accept this and be free. Accept this, all of this, and be, just be, by Christopher Timms again. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. I feel like that was so very educational. So a few brief. There is a prosperity bowl that is at the side door. We thank you in advance for your generosity. This is used to upkeep the buildings here at the camp and for the campgrounds as well. For announcements, next Wednesday on 8/26, our message bearer is going to be Reverend Judy Cooper, and she will demonstrate spirit. Next Sunday, our speaker is Cindy Gordon, and that is on 8:30. And then the Sunday Lyceum speaker on 8:30 is Reverend Gregory P. Kent. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis building, which is here behind the bookstore. To participate in absentee healing, please print the first name and last initial of the last name of a loved one or friend or a pet in our healing book at the back left corner of the building. You can also go to www.cassadaga.org to see events and download the Sunday service as well through there. We also have an online and in-person attendance for the animal totems and symbols and other signs, which is with my mother, and that is on the 23rd today from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here in the Andrew Jackson Davis building. The workshop can be attended via Zoom online or by attending in person. The online attendance is limited to 10 people. The presenter, my mom, she is a certified medium through Cassadaga Southern Spiritualist Camp, and the donation is $25 for that, and it's Universe Speaks to Us daily. Our job is to know how to interpret the signs and then act upon the guidance. So she'll go over the animal totems like when you see animals in your day-to-day. Okay, and then I am going to re-welcome my mother back up to the platform to give messages and bring through spirit.